Right, so this is something that we definitely need to talk about in that recently we had AOC, namely, kind of started it up, but a lot of people have jumped on the bandwagon, calling the ICE facilities and the border facilities concentration camps. And what was predicted by many people was that one of their fans or someone who agreed with him at the very least is going to go attack one of these places. And sure enough, it's happened. It's probably going to happen again at some point if they don't tone down the rhetoric. But obviously, it's happened. And then now we have Ilhan Omar, AOC, namely, refusing to condemn these kind of attacks. And it first of all, it shows a massive double standard in that if any, right wing YouTuber ever did one of these, did one, like, let's say they go and attacked a Planned Parenthood or something, it would be all over the news, even if they didn't kill anyone. It would be the biggest news story of the year from your CNNs and your progressive YouTubers and all these kind of things. It would be the biggest news story of the year. They talk about it hour after hour after hour for weeks on end. And Trump and every conservative under the sun would be forced to condemn whoever this person was hundreds of times, and the left would still probably call them, claim that they agree with this kind of person. But you have the left who, number one, their rhetoric more than likely caused it. I wouldn't say it's 100% direct, but it more than likely is what caused this person to do it. And in their manifesto, they use language very similar to what AOC used. So it's more than likely, and so they more than likely were the ones that influenced this person to go and almost kill people, and yet they don't condemn it at all. And by default, I think you have to assume that they agree with it, and it's for the difference that not there's a big double standard in that if someone on the right goes and attacks someone and they claim that they were influenced by Trump or whoever it was, there's kind of a default difference in that the left is defended relentlessly by the media and the right, namely Trump, is gone after relentlessly by the media. So there's a big double standard there. But the other big thing to talk about too is you have prominent people in media and whatnot, and namely Sean King was one of the big ones I seen in that he not only did he not condemn it, but he basically tweeted in support of the guy who went and attacked this place in Washington, and Twitter has yet to do anything to either temporarily ban or full-on ban him, and that's another part of this story is the massive, massive double standard, and we're getting just it seems like thousandth example of social media bias, mainstream media bias. But you have Sean King, who's someone he's a big lefty. He's fully on board this idea that they're concentration camps, and that number one, he's tweeted that it's not an exact quote, but something along the lines of concentration camps need to be liberated, and go, basically calling for people to go attack these places, right? And then now you have him tweeting in support of this guy who was a domestic terrorist. That's what he is. And the other thing too to point out too is that most of these mainstream media outlets, how they talk about it is it's something along the lines of, guy or man attacks ICE facility. It's not domestic terrorist influenced by prominent Democrats attacking ICE facility, because if someone on the right did that, like they attacked a Planned Parenthood, it would be man influenced by Trump or some YouTuber or whatever, domestic terrorist attacks Planned Parenthood, not, guy attacks Planned Parenthood. So that's just another example of the double standard. But Twitter is a big one in this. This is that Sean King can literally call for violence and praise violence when it happens, and he's not taken off the platform. And you have people who have never called for violence, never done anything illegal, basically just taken down for wrongthink. And it's for anyone still questioning whether or not a bias. Like, I do not have words for you, because like, what more? Like, does Twitter have to put out a press release saying that saying that they're biased to prove it to you, or like what more would it, like, literally that's up until what they've done at this point, the only thing that they could do that would prove the bias anymore would be for them to put out a press release saying that, yeah, we're biased. Like, that's the only thing. Like, there's so many examples, it's not even funny. And yes, there's people on the left that have been banned for not really a whole lot, but it's overwhelming majority the other way. And they tend to ban people based off ideology, which tends to coincide with right wing because they're overwhelmingly leftist who ban people based off the opposite ideology. So that's about it as far as that topic goes. But like I said, the double standard is just, it's off the charts. And this is just another example of the people who claim, oh, the right and the left, they're pretty much the same, two wings of the libcon bird or whatever they say. In that, yeah, when they're in office, they may not get a whole lot more accomplished, but I think that's very different now that you have the left who's gone way to the left. 10 or 20 years ago, I would probably be more inclined to agree with the statement that they're all pretty much the same, but it's not anymore. Someone who's a true conservative, which are pretty rare, is a lot better than the modern Democrat or the modern liberal. Back in the day, liberals, like liberal 10 or 20 years ago would be, they'd be moderate, and so things have definitely changed a lot in that sense. In that there's a massive double standard when you can have people whose rhetoric, more than likely, I wouldn't say, like I said, 100% for sure, but it's probably 95%. That their rhetoric caused this attack, and that no one is calling them on it. And if Trump called for this kind of stuff, and someone went and attacked a Planned Parenthood, I mean, I don't even want to know what happened. There'd be people rioting in the streets. There'd be fights, probably people dying, and the media would be, oh yeah, this is all Trump's fault. But when this kind of stuff happens, it's not a peep. So yeah, like I said, things are really getting crazy in the political world, in the U.S. especially, because they're the biggest country, or the most prominent country in the world, and that things aren't going to get any better until they can deal with this kind of stuff, because you have your Ilhan Omars, your AOCs that are really gone off the deep end, and if they can't rein them in, then things are going to get crazy, because they have this idea that what they're doing is just and right, and they're helping the cause, and all they're really doing is helping Trump get elected in 2020. And if he gets elected again, which it's almost a certainty at this point, they're probably going to double down on their rhetoric and get even more crazy. So that's something to be pretty concerned with. And this issue, it's not dying down anytime soon. If anything, it's only getting bigger and more in the news. So I would stay in touch for this kind of stuff. So that's about it as far as this video goes. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more.